Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, 부산영어방송.
The weather is so nice today. I'm sure this won't be a big deal.
A 3-second long lapse in judgment can burn up an entire mountain, which will take 100 years to recover. We can protect these lush forests if you follow these guidelines. First, do not bring flammable materials to the mountains. Second, do not cook or camp in the mountains. Third, do not litter cigarette butts. Your small actions are the first step towards protecting the beautiful forest. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Want to be a friend of BEFM, 부산영어방송? You can chat with BEFM through our Kakao Talk service. You can share your messages and photos through Kakao Talk, and you can easily become BEFM's Kakao friend by searching BEFM through the Find a Friend option. Come share and chat with us at BEFM anytime, anywhere for free. Don't forget to add BEFM 부산영어방송 to your Kakao friends list.
Man, I haven't got a chance. I call
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Early this morning, I had the TV on. I was watching the Olympics while I was getting ready, and it was such an amazing morning for, snowboarding, a half pipe for women. Choi Ga-eun, a 17-year-old, beat her idol, Korean-American half-pipe snowboarder superstar Chloe Kim, to win the gold medal in the wee hours this morning. And their performances were so amazing. They were awesome. And I was screaming to the point where my roommates, they came out. They're like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Oh, go back to bed. Sorry." But anyhow, what was more wonderful was to see the women congratulating each other with genuine hearts. And Chloe Kim, we know who she is. She is a superstar. She actually helped Choi Ga-eun train at Mammoth Mountain Snowboarding Club back in the day. So I'm sure it was a bittersweet moment for her, but she was the definition of grace as she applauded her younger competitor. I'm in love with these gals, including all the medalists, bronze medalist Mitsuki Ono as well, and the culture of snowboarding because they were truly celebrating with each other like a family. Isn't this a true spirit of the Olympics? I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Friday, February 13th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. It is Friday, the Friday before the big holiday, which is upon us. I can't believe it's literally right around the corner. And I wanted to, kick off our Friday morning with some good news. And for all the Olympians, all those competing and doing well, some taking, a tumble or stumbling, whatever it is, yes, the years of hard work hopefully are paying off for you and for those. You can't all be winners, but the thing is, the process and the progress up to these games, I have to say, I was just amazed, blown away once again. All right, so with the holiday upon us, I'm sure that many of us will be glancing at the clock more frequently than usual today, but you are looking forward to maybe resting or having fun this holiday, or maybe you're kind of dreading all the work that you're going to have to do, whether that be driving or maybe some domestic work. The Lunar New Year is a holiday steeped in tradition, but even the authorities on tradition are advising simplifying these customs. What are we talking about? Well, first up, the Institute of Korean Confucian Culture proposes a modern compromise for the traditional 차례 table, the offerings for ancestors. So 차례, according to these cultural experts, literally meant 차, like tea, 마시는 차, and therefore a simplified table of some rice cakes and maybe 3 to 4 fruits. When we think of Confucianism, 유교, we often associate that with strict rules on where the foods go. But actually, the core value of Confucianism was timeliness, meaning adapting to one's times and needs. And there are also discussions on whether putting modern foods on the table, like pizza, or fruits like strawberries, is against tradition or even actually rude. Well, according to the Institute, the answer is no, that such offerings can be a modern expression of remembering your loved ones. And here's a core value to remember as you're preparing for these 차례 tables: the family's happiness. Experts therefore say it's not about what or how much you put on the table, but what kind of mindset you were in while you were preparing for the rituals. The head of the Confucian Institute said that traditions are not relics stuck in time, more like water flowing with the times and remaining near us. And that is a sentiment we should take with us as we head into the long holiday. All right, here's our text topic. It's very simple, or I think it's simple. What are your holiday plans? And what traditions does your family have? 자, 여러분의 설 계획, 그리고 여러분 가족의 명절 전통은, and it could be very different. 가족마다 조금씩 다를 거라고 생각합니다. So I want to hear about your family traditions, what your plans are, where you're going to go, or maybe you're staying at home, with whom, maybe by yourself. And, you know, I applaud any of the choices, all of the above. So send in your messages to BFM's live stream, live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM, 부산영어방송, to find our channel, subscribe, log in, and chat with our other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk. So to find our account, type in BEFM or 부산영어방송. Add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages and maybe some photos too. And the ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan on the radio, here obviously, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. Like I said, we are streaming live on YouTube right now. Check us out on that medium if you haven't already. And we're available on the BFM app, Papang app. Both are free and easy to download. So it is Friday once again, so let's get into what we have for you today. First up, we have Jiin with Now in Busan. Haley's coming in for hour number 1, top stories. Hour number 2 for Waggle Tea Time. Melissa's joining me for Foreign Press Highlights in hour number 1. Professor An 교수님, Andrew Miller, he's coming in for Global Affairs. Hour number 2. Our special interview today, we're going to focus on humanoid robots because, you know, we've always had this idea, even decades back. Are robots going to take over the world? Are they going to take our jobs? Will I be out of a job soon? Who knows, right? Well, we're going to talk about this as maybe the future is moving closer to reality. Let's find out in hour number 2 with our expert. I'll be back with news overview. It is now 7:07 and this is News Overview. Ex-Interior Minister sentenced to 7 years in insurrection trial. Former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min was sentenced to 7 years in prison yesterday for playing a key role in ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law imposition in 2024. Government to offer grace period before ending tax suspension for multiple homeowners. The government will grant a grace period of 4 to 6 months for owners of multiple homes ahead of the planned end of a temporary exemption from heavy capital gains taxes for multiple homeowners on May 9th. Police task force raids National Assembly over 2024 attack on Lee Jae-myung. Police raided the National Assembly, the intelligence agency, and other offices yesterday as part of an investigation connected to a knife attack on President Lee Jae-myung during a visit to Busan in 2024. Snowboarder Choi Ga-won wins gold in women's halfpipe. Choi Ga-won captured the women's halfpipe snowboard title at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics for South Korea's first gold medal of the competition. Trump repeals landmark climate ruling. The U.S. Trump administration has revoked a key scientific ruling that gives the government and the ability to regulate climate heating pollution, including greenhouse gas emissions. This was News Overview. It is now time for Now Busan. We have Jean in the studio. Let's say hi first. Happy Friday.
It is Friday.
Yay. So are you excited about the Lunar New Year holiday
Yes,
coming up?
absolutely.
We need to know, what are your plans?
I am planning to bring a really nice tucheonku to my parents. Because I'm pretty sure they've
되게
never tried
좋아하세요.
it.
You're so into it, right? Ah.
Because even my brother is now living alone, not with my parents. So
right.
I'm pretty sure they've never had a chance yet.
Oh.
So I wish I could bring a really nice one for them.
Such a good daughter, Kyunyo. Bringing her to Jungkook.
That's my first plan. Oh, I just spoiler for my parents.
Okay.
My family tradition, right? During the 설날, I think we used to play a card game all together.
Yeah.
Not lately, but yeah, should be
Maybe this time.
maybe this time.
Yes, yes. So I will be traveling to Seoul over the weekend. though.
Really?
Yeah, to visit, the little ones and saying hello and bringing like pantans and
For
and like
for
needed
your little
items,
one.
right. And will be the first time that we will be spending a major holiday like away from home, but actually in Seoul, at least for the weekend.
I see.
And then we're coming back down, of course. So I'm looking forward to that. Like the no cooking. I'm so excited. No cooking.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's all about eating out. And we're just, of course, maybe for the day of maybe having the 떡만둣국, because we have a mandu making competition. That's our family tradition.
Really?
Yeah, we judge. And yeah, we will look and we will judge harshly. So yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to jump into our first bit of local news. I hear that Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun visited places to check emergency services and traffic measures during the holiday period. So tell us about this.
Yes, the Lunar New Year holiday is just around the corner, and we continue to bring you updates on Busan City's busy preparations for the holiday. Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun carried out on-site inspections ahead of the Lunar New Year holiday yesterday on the 12th. He first visited the 119 Emergency Headquarters to check the Emergency Situation Management Center and patient transport system.
Yes, well, what about hospitals? Were they included in this inspection as well?
Definitely. The mayor visited Dongle Bongseng Hospital to check 24-hour emergency room operations, working conditions for medical staff, and gather feedback on difficulties and improvements in patient selection and transport during emergencies.
That's right. Well, what about holiday traffic and, of course, the crowds?
Yes, that's another important point. The mayor inspected Busan Central Bus Terminal to review special traffic measures and preparedness. In addition, on the first day of the holiday period, he will check crowd management at the Gwangan-ri Drone Light Show Lunar New Year special performance held at Suyeonggu District Life Culture Center.
I see. Well, it kind of in connection with all of this, because obviously it's the holiday coming upon us. I hear that Busan is expanding services from public pharmacies this year, so we need an update on this. What's going on?
Sure. Busan excuse me, is really becoming a livable city like its slogan, 살기 좋은 도시 Busan. The city is operating a total of 18 public late-night pharmacies this year.
Yes.
They're open from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. the next day. The public late-night pharmacy program started in 2021 with 4 locations, expanded to 14 in 2024, 15 in 2025, and now 18 this year.
Okay.
This reflects a steady increase to meet residents' late-night medication needs.
Right. So do people actually use these pharmacies? Because sometimes I definitely am like thinking someone's sick in the family. We're like, oh, we need a pharmacy, but then we don't know, right?
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, last year, around 75,000 people used the public late-night pharmacies, with more than 99,000 prescriptions and consultations provided. Most public late-night pharmacies will remain open without breaks during the Lunar New Year holiday.
Oh, and thanks to the pharmacists who are going to be, manning, as they say, those pharmacies. Where can residents check the operating status of said pharmacies?
Residents can check holiday pharmacy operations on Busan City's website and see locations and real-time information on the emergency medical portal.
All right. Well, thanks for that information. Let's talk about the Mandok-Sentum Urban Expressway, which just opened up. How is the city guiding drivers during the holiday?
Busan City is asking drivers to use alternative routes if congestion occurs on the newly opened Mandok-Sentum Urban Expressway. Since the expressway will remain free during the holidays, heavy traffic is expected.
Right. Well, are there specific alternate routes recommended for maybe the different areas?
Travelers between 사직동 in Dongnaegu District, Yeonjaegu District, and Mandok-dong are advised to use the Mandok Choeup Tunnel.
Okay.
Northern Busan users, including Kimjeonggu District and Dongnaegu District, should compare traffic conditions at Yunsan and Sansang tunnels. Eastern Busan users, including Haeundae and Kijang, should check Byeonglo and the Busan-Ulsan Expressway.
I see. And how can drivers get real-time traffic updates? Because this is really important during the holiday.
Right. Real-time traffic information, including CCTV footage of the expressway, is available through the Busan Transportation Information Service Center website, the Busan Traffic Information mobile app, and TBN Busan Traffic Broadcasting.
All right. Thanks for the heads up on all of that. Next up, I hear that Busan just opened up a new pedestrian bridge over Suyong River. What's the story here?
Another piece of good news today is the completion of a long-awaited construction project. Busan City held a completion ceremony yesterday, February 12th, at the APAC Naru Park pedestrian bridge. The event marked the opening of the Suyong River Human Bridge project, which began in 2020.
Yes.
The project was designed to connect both sides of the river and expand riverside cultural and tourism spaces.
So how does this bridge affect residents and tourists?
The bridge links Suyonggu District residential areas with APAC Naru Park and the Busan Cinema Center in Haeundae District, creating a unified living area. It will serve as a daily relaxation space for citizens and a new riverside tourism attraction for visitors.
Right. And are there any special restrictions for this bridge?
Yes, the city plans to designate it as Busan's first pedestrian-only path. No cars, no bicycles, and even personal mobility devices are prohibited along the entire bridge.
So a heads up for everybody who wants to use it. It's only for pedestrians. Yes. All right, next up, another piece of good news regarding safer school routes. What's the update here?
Busan Mayor Park Hyung-jun held the 15-minute city Safe School Route Guardians lunch ceremony at Tomohon yesterday on the 12th, officially starting efforts to create safer school zones with students, parents, and citizens.
So how exactly is the city improving city routes?
The city is introducing 3 CPTD-based models, car-free streets, pedestrian-only sidewalks, and safe pedestrian zones across 660 schools to structurally separate students and vehicles. This year, 64 candidate sites were identified, with 5 selected for pilot projects.
Right, and how is citizen participation incorporated into all of this?
Through the 15-minute city free Safe School Route Guardians program, students, parents, and citizens take part in campaigns and practical safety activities. A public-private council also jointly manages all stages of the project, from site selection to design, construction, and evaluation.
I see. Well, thank you for bringing us all the local news before the long Lunar New Year holiday. Wishing you and your family the best. Happy New Year.
You too.
All right, everybody, this was Jian with Now in Busan. I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It is time for your traffic report. First up, let's talk about the Bandakdero. Busy to the Namhae Expressway Tukcheon ramp right now. There's congestion on the Dongso overpass from Hwangyong ramp to Kaegum. And there is congestion also on Nakdong-Nanno from Myeongji ramp to the Cheongyang-sa-Ogi intersection. And now for the weather. It's currently 2 degrees here in Busan under clear skies with a daytime high. It's going to go up to 13 today. Busan City is still under a special dry weather report and bad ultrafine dust readings in some parts of the city. Bad air quality across the country with emergency fine dust reduction measures in effect for the capital area and Gangwon, Yeongso. Looking at the weather for the weekend, warm on both days, tomorrow and on Sunday, with the daytime highs going up to 17 degrees on Sunday and morning lows around 5 for tomorrow and Sunday. No rain forecast for the Lunar New Year holiday, but please check the air quality and have masks on hand. This was your traffic and weather.
Korea Broadcast Advertising Corporation, Kobaco, supports your broadcast advertising production costs. This program is open to innovative small and medium-sized enterprises, offering up to 45 million won for TV ads and 3 million won for radio ads. Applications are open from January 22nd to February 23rd at 6 p.m. For more details, visit the Kobaco website.
It's time for top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, as the saying goes, what is it? While the what's away, the what will play?
The cat? Is it the cat and the rat?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know while the producer's away.
She's
We shall play.
We need some dance tunes.
Yeah, I know.
But I looked at the lineup. It's all pretty mellow.
Interpretive dance?
Like modern,
contemporary dance.
Yes. And by the way, we have Park Bo-sung PD님.
We do have a producer. Woo, welcome.
And Yeji PD님, please go do your thing. We don't want to see your name.
Go get, I don't know.
Coffee or something. Have fun.
Something else.
Okay. Well, our text topic today is all about the Lunar New Year holiday. So what are your plans, family traditions?
Our family tradition is to, and I say this jokingly, but
Yes.
also not, avoid the extended family like the plague.
Ditto that. We're so there. We stopped doing that.
Yeah, there's
years
a lot
ago.
of drama.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know what? Holidays should be pleasant. So we hang out with the
Immediate family?
Yeah, but then the immediate family is also growing because we're seeing my sister's family. So there's like 7 of us.
Oh, I was going to say, are you trying to like
Yeah.
announce something, Haley?
No. We're seeing
not
my
there?
sister, my
Okay.
older sister. No. There's like her husband, her child. So yeah, we have like a whole full minivan full of people. But
That's a perfect number, though.
it's going to be exciting.
Yay. So any traditions? What do you guys like do?
And this is something that it would abhor you, but
no.
we stand in lines for stuff because we like
Sorry. I shudder at the thought. But
because we
yes.
do travel domestically.
Uh-huh.
And then when you do go to a different town,
Right.
you have to go to the hottest restaurant
That's
and
true.
the most well-known bakeries.
Uh-huh.
And I will stand in line for bang. Always.
Ah.
Always.
Mm. You can save.
I'll bring
my
you back
place.
some. Yeah, I'll bring you back
Yay,
some. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
We're going to jump into the first story here. We're going to go to this court ruling on former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min.
Right, so this is a major ruling that came down yesterday. Former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min was found guilty of having played a key role in an insurrection and also perjury at the Constitutional Court, sentenced to 7 years in prison. He was, however, found not guilty of abuse of authority, and this sentence, 7 years, is actually less than half of the special counsel's request of 15 years.
Right.
So in its ruling, Seoul Central District Court said that the actions by the defendant, Lee Sang-min, as well as others, including the ex-president, these actions were in disregard of the procedures set by the Constitution and therefore fundamentally damaged the core value of democracy.
That's right. So walk us through the ruling.
Right. So first, the court, Criminal Division 32 with the Seoul Central District Court, under Chief Judge Ryu Kyung-jin, ruled that the December 3rd martial law imposition constituted an act of insurrection. So this echoes the previous court's ruling that found ex-Prime Minister Han Duck-soo guilty.
Yes.
What's notable here is that the judge said that ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol, ex-Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun, and others were an insurrection collective, or 내란 집단, which was the premise that he set forth for the ruling that this was an act of collusion by multiple individuals to exert power and cause harm.
Right.
And as for the defendant Lee Sang-min himself, the court said that he was in a position to be fully in the know of the meaning of an extraordinary martial law, and through his phone call with the chief of police, knew about the situation that was going on at the National Assembly to stop this. And before he gave order to the fire chief to cooperate with the water and the power shut off to the media organizations. The court also said that the E was guilty of giving false testimony at the Constitutional Court, so that is perjury.
Okay.
When he said last February that he never gave the order to shut off power and water, nor did he receive such orders from the former president.
I see. But I do want to focus on the court's sentencing of 7 years, which is vastly different from what the former prime minister received.
Right. So both ex-Prime Minister Han Duck-soo and ex-Interior Minister Lee Sang-min, they were charged with and found guilty of having played key roles in the insurrection. The Cho Eun-suk Special Counsel both times requested 15 years in prison.
Right.
However, Han Duck-soo's court, they actually raised that sentence to 23 years. However, lowering that, cutting that by half to 7 years for Lee Sang-min's case.
Right.
So what the pundits are reading into is that while both courts, they do clearly agree that the actions on December 3rd amounted to insurrection, they differed on how the two individuals, Han Duck-soo and Lee Sang-min, and their roles were different.
Right.
Also, Prime Minister, Interior Minister,
Yes.
different weights there.
Right.
For Lee, the key point was that although he did order for the power and the water shut off at media organizations, that actually never wound up happening.
I see. So thanks for breaking it down for us. Let's move on and talk about this story. President Lee Jae-myung was supposed to meet with the leaders of the two major parties at Cheongwon yesterday. We said that they probably would, but that actually didn't happen.
Right. So this is actually nearly unprecedented. So President Lee Jae-myung was due to host Democratic Party's leader Jung Cheong-rae and People Power Party leader Chang Dong-hyuk to discuss bipartisan cooperation. But just an hour before the scheduled luncheon, Chang Dong-hyuk's side officially canceled. So earlier that morning, we did start to see some signs as Chang mentioned how multiple leading members from the PPP asked him to reconsider going to the luncheon, and then an official cancellation came via his chief of staff.
So what was the reason behind this sudden cancellation?
Right, so Chang mentioned an incident at the Parliamentary Legislative and Judiciary Committee the previous day that he called as totally destroying the country's judicial system. So what this is in reference to, it's the two bills that would allow for a constitutional petition of court rulings and also a different bill that would expand the number of Supreme Court justices.
Right.
So the committee passed this bill over the PPP members' objections, and actually to that end, this split continued on to the National Assembly floor vote, where PPP lawmakers also boycotted the floor vote.
So that's one side. How did the DP and Cheongwon respond to this, though?
Right. So again, this is the first time that there was an outright cancellation to a presidential luncheon. So to that end, Democratic Party's chair Jung Cheong-rae said that this was an incredibly rude behavior against against not only the president but also the people. 청와대 had a more subdued response with its Secretary for Governance Hong Ik-pyo saying that he expresses deep regrets at a missed opportunity for communications and cooperation. But when he was asked by a reporter whether the president had anything specific to say about this event falling through, Hong stated that the president didn't make any separate remarks about this.
Yes, yes. All right. We're going to switch gears and talk about, something else completely. So I talked about the holiday traditions in the opening and how, nowadays it might be a little different. But let's get into the holiday realities.
Right. So another thing that we really want to know, how bad is the traffic going to be?
I need to know.
Not bad towards the beginning, but real bad towards the end. So, buckle up.
Okay.
So let's start with traffic. When should you avoid being on the road if you don't want to be there for, 8 hours? All right. So,
I'm almost crying.
Well, here's some good news for Busanites, Busaners. We are going the opposite way of the general heavy flow of the traffic. We're flowing northward, right?
Yes.
But then the bulk of the people, if you're traveling southward from Seoul, so what we call 귀성길 coming home,
Yes.
it'll be congested starting this afternoon, which means people in the capital area will start moving right after work or even maybe taking half days off because, again, starting like after lunchtime, expect to see the roads congested.
Okay.
This, by the way, is big data analysis from TMAP Mobility and SK Telecom. So if you leave Seoul between 3 and 5 p.m. today, expect it to take a little over 6 hours to make it to Busan. Usually, if you're not stopping at any rest areas, like the fastest you'll clock is 4.5 hours.
Yes.
Roughly 5, so 6 hours, not too bad. From Seoul to Gwangju, 4 hours and 40 minutes. Sunday, so we're going to skip over Saturday, but Sunday is also expected to be fairly crowded pretty much throughout most of the day from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, Seoul to Busan, about 6 hours.
Okay.
Here's a good thing about this holiday season, though. 설날, the day of the Lunar New Year, is actually towards the end of the holiday, right? Second to the last day. So the southward traffic towards the beginning will be more distributed throughout. So even during the most projected crowded projected times, it's only going to take about half an hour to 40 minutes extra.
Smile. I know this is so on a personal level, but I'm smiling. Okay, so that's good. But that also means that people will be in a rush to get home towards the end of the holiday, right?
Yeah, so when are you coming home? Right. So
Sunday.
Right. So turn that smile upside down because, again, Lunar New Year Day is on Tuesday. The holidays end on Wednesday.
Yes.
So Tuesday is going to be a word that I can't say on air. So, sorry. So expect it to take double the usual travel time.
Okay.
So from Busan to Seoul on Tuesday, 8 hours. So when I said 8 hours, I was not kidding.
Okay.
From Gwangju to Seoul, 6 hours and 45 minutes. So just let's round that up to 7 hours. Even the opposite way, Seoul to Busan, it is projected to take about 7 hours because people will be traveling. So I don't know, snacks, but maybe not too many liquids. And yeah.
If you see me at the restaurant, say hey.
Say hi, hey.
And of course, during this time, we need to be extra careful with scam attempts.
Right. So just don't click on anything. And with increased parcel deliveries this time of year, online shopping, gifts, wire transfers, there are higher risks of scams and people trying to take advantage of this.
Right.
So according to experts, these key attempts will include your quote-unquote fake parcel delivery number saying we need corrections, updates to your shipping address. Scams involving gift certificate, mobile invitations, or notifications of funerals. And yeah, I know. Fake announcements for holiday stimulus checks. So 지원금 대상자. So these, please be careful. Key phrases, they'll try to really trigger you with emergencies, urgent, or family bonuses. So things that are tempting.
Yes.
And they will also have URLs, so addresses that are very similar to actual parcel delivery or logistic companies, or maybe have like a one or like a underscore behind it.
Right.
So as always, don't click on links sent by unknown users. Also, it's a good idea to save your usual parcel delivery guys or women's numbers. So you know that this is legitimate.
Yes.
If you think you've already clicked on a malware link, go to the police cyber crimes report center. This is CRM, so like e-crime, ECRM, or call 112 or 118.
Thanks for the heads up on that. Let's move on to some international news. U.S. President Donald Trump made this sudden announcement about coal deals with South Korea and other nations.
We keep getting these alleged deals that South Korea apparently struck with the U.S. So during a White House event on Wednesday local time, this was on revitalizing the U.S. coal industry. And President Donald Trump said that the U.S. was now exporting coal worldwide. To that end, claiming this historic trade deal in the past few months with South Korea, Japan, India, and other countries that would apparently dramatically increase U.S. coal exports.
Well, you know, we on this show, Morning Wave in Busan, we need a fact check. Is this true?
We are not sure because with the Trump administration, we have seen the pattern of President Trump making sweeping declarations and then administrative actions following suit. So is this one such case? Well, this is the first time that Trump verbally said anything in person about U.S. coal exports to South Korea, that being a part of the trade deal. But online going back to July 30th. He did write on social media, Truth Social, that South Korea had agreed to purchase $100 billion worth of U.S. liquefied natural gas or other, quote, energy products. So this could be in reference to that other products part.
Okay, and this is part of the Trump administration's push towards coal, though.
Right, and as you said in news overview, the Trump administration just scrapped this major ruling that basically laid down the groundwork for emissions cut down. And he has criticized his predecessor, Joe Biden's shutdown of coal power plants as being destructive. So Trump has stated that his administration has approved over 70 new coal mines in just the first year back in office. And he was actually at this event on Wednesday awarded with a trophy as a champion of beautiful, clean coal.
Yes.
But this does go against the international community's efforts to cut down on fossil fuel production, namely coal.
That's right. All right, so we're going to end this segment as we have been lately with news from the Olympics.
And I know this is a news that you wanted to talk about. 17-year-old. And I know she's been reported as 18 in Korean outlets, Korean age, but her birthday hasn't passed yet. And she was also born in 2008.
2008?
2008, which is, that was a milestone year for me too, because I went to college.
But I was going to say, like, what were we doing when we were 17?
I was going to college. Like, legit, I was going to college. Right.
But when I was 17, I was like, you went to college when you were 17?
Well, 18.
18,
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
my birthday had passed.
Right. But I was thinking, like, I was like 17, like senior year in high school.
I was real proud of my driver's license.
Right, exactly. Like the little wins in life.
Little wins. But this girl, Chaegaon beat the odds and won the gold in women's snowboard halfpipe.
Right.
It was dramatic.
It was.
We thought she wasn't going to make it. And, you know, she also didn't. So what happened? She went into finals in 6th place.
Right.
And the legend in this category is Chloe Kim, American superstar, but also a good friend and mentor to Chaegaon, anticipated to win her 3rd gold. Chae also took a hard fall in the opening run after the 2nd jump, and she only received 10 points.
Right.
And this isn't a 10 out of 10 situation. And it seemed that initially she had withdrawn from the competition because on the board it said DNS, which means did not start. But she actually went back. She fell again in the 2nd run during a switch backside 9, and that put her in 11th place.
You know what a switch backside 9 is? Whoa.
Now I do.
I like
look
this
things
new
up.
Haley. Okay. But as they say, the 3rd time was the charm.
And you saw it. You actually saw it while it was happening. She came back big. Finishing all 5 jumps, shooting up to the very top of the scoreboard, 90.25. And this isn't just the first snowboard gold for South Korea. It's the first alpine, so ski and snowboard category gold for South Korea.
So that's why it's even more meaningful. And I hear that South Korea also brought in another medal in short track.
Right, now going to the ice side of it all, Im Jong-won. So he's actually the baby of the team in short track. He won the bronze in men's 1,000-meter race, bringing in South Korea's fourth medal, from Milano Cortina. This was also a dramatic finish because he was in the very back until the final lap where he
Right.
surpassed two other skaters, finishing third. In women's 500 meter, 최민정, 김길리, 이소연, they did not advance onto the finals. Oddly enough, short track, this is the women's weakest event.
Right.
The last medal came about a dozen years ago.
Right. The 500 meter is very elusive. So, but congrats, I want to say, to all the Olympians.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So thank you for the news. We'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, dedicated to all the people out there competing, going hard. This is Butterfly by Loveholics from 국가대표, of course. Enjoy.
어리석은 세상은 너를 몰라 후회 속에 감춰진 너를 못 봐 나는 알아 내겐 보여 그토록 찬란한 너의 날개
겁내지마 할 수 있어 뜨겁게 꿈틀거리는 날개를 펴 날아올라 세상 위로
태양처럼 빛이 나는 그대여 이 세상이 거칠게 막아서도 빛나는 사랑은 난 너를 사랑해 널 세상에 볼 수 있게 날아줘 멀리 꺾여버린 꽃처럼 아플 때도 쓰러진 나무처럼 초라해도 너를 믿어 나를 믿어 우리는 서로를 믿고 있어
심장의 소리를 느껴봐 힘겹게 접어놓았던 날개를 펴 날아올라 세상 위로
보자로 너 아름다운 그대여 이 세상이 차갑게 등을 보여도 눈부신 사랑아 난 너를 사랑해 널 세상이 볼 수 있게 바람처럼 빛을 내는 그대여 이 세상이 거칠게 막아서도 빛나는 사랑아 난 너를 사랑해
널 세상이 볼 수 있게 날아줘 멀리
It is time for Foreign Press Highlights. Guess who's here? Melissa's here, filling in for Casey once again. Hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
A little depressed after Haley was talking about how long it's going to take to get everywhere this holiday.
I know.
If I see you driving on the road, I'll just wave. Little honk and wave.
I know. It's like, hey.
Right. I ran out of snacks.
Snacks are a must.
Yeah.
What's your favorite snack when you're on the road?
To be honest,
Yes.
since I was a child,
Yes.
my 둘째 오빠, my second brother, he always made this big car snack pack.
Oh,
and the
that's
rule
so
is you
sweet.
can't eat from the snack pack until you're out of, your home city. Yes, but of course,
there were
coming
rules.
back, we need it. Coming back, like if you're coming from Seoul, especially, I'll be coming from Jeollabuk-do, you have to keep eating snacks, right? Because that's where traffic is the worst.
Yes.
Right? So I always do a variety. You need salty, some chips.
Yes.
You need sweet, some gummies, some cookies.
Gummies. Yes.
If you're going to do chocolate, you have to be careful because it might melt in the car,
That's
depending
true.
on when you're traveling. So that has to be like the candy-coated chocolates to prevent melting.
What a great family tradition. That was part of our text topic about the whole snack pack. I love it. I love it. And so you're going to be spending time with the in-laws, or where are you going to be?
Yes. I always go to Shidek, so we will go there. And
You're so Korean.
yes,
You're more Korean than I am.
We
I don't
we
even,
still
I didn't
do.
go to Shidek.
You don't go. Yeah, we have chare, so we do the ancestor ceremony. We are part of the 40% doing the ceremony. So we will do the ceremony. We will eat at 7 a.m. after the
Yes.
ceremony, and then we will be stuck in traffic with everybody else in South Korea.
I love it. I love it. That's part of being like, in air quotes, Korean.
Yes.
Stuck in traffic. Well, what's the first story about for Foreign Press Highlights? What are we covering?
Well, this article is from the UK media, and it's about a basic staple here in South Korea that's gotten so popular worldwide. Even BBC is saying it's, quote, the humblest snack, and they joked it's Korea's black semiconductor.
Black. Snack. Are we talking about like Kim?
Yes. Yes. Because Korea is the world's largest producer and exporter of gim.
I love Kim. Yes.
Yes, last year, according to Korea Maritime Institute, exports of kim were at record-breaking highs of 1.13 billion US dollars.
That is huge. That is
Yes.
huge. Is there a particular reason why Kim exports are reaching new highs?
There is, similar to this worldwide demand for K-beauty, there is a newfound global love of kim that comes from Korea's greater cultural influence as a whole. So in this
Yes.
case, the British media asked people in the UK why they wanted to try kim. Many of them said they saw it on K-dramas and they wanted to try for themselves.
Yes.
So I'm curious if you've heard of this happening, not only with seaweed, but with any kind of Korean snack or random thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, samgyeopsal, people know that, right?
Oh,
They've known
yeah.
about it a long time.
Yeah.
It's very similar to bacon, but noticing the seaweed on kimbap in a K-drama, that
Yes.
seems very eagle-eyed to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it could also be like, I remember when I first like busted out my kimbap in California when I was a little girl, and people were amazed because it was black. I think the color
Oh.
gets them.
Really?
Because it's like, think of how many things that you eat in Western cuisine that's black and it's good, and there's not a lot of black food.
That's true. Unless you're
right.
burning things, it's not generally black.
Right. So they were like, what is that black thing,
Oh.
And it was like curiosity, and there was a little, I wouldn't say disgust, but kind of just like, oh my God, what's that? Like OMG, right?
Right.
Back in the day, because that's when like nobody had heard of kimbap, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah,
I am like the ambassador. I'm like, oh, let me show you what's in this. It's called kimbap, and I would explain it. And they
nice.
still like were kind of puzzled, like, ew, veggies in some
Typ-
black.
Typical kid reaction.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
vegetables? So it's like
right.
a water vegetable?
with some like black stuff around it. Yeah, that was a reaction.
Yeah, right.
so,
it's
yeah.
not maybe the most common thing. You're
Yes,
right.
yes,
Yeah,
the black.
But now it is, right? But just because people originally saw foods like kim on K-dramas, it doesn't mean they eat it the same way.
True.
So a 60-year-old American interviewed by the BBC said she eats the sliced and salted kim packets like potato chips.
Oh, like one
Yes.
at
So,
a time. I love it.
I mean, you well know this, though, being from California.
Yeah.
There are some places like the U.S. using kim in more traditional ways.
Sure.
Back in 2023, an American supermarket called I'm going to go with Trader Bob's. Trader Bob's made kimbap, which became super famous and sold out.
Right, because they were like frozen and you had to heat them up. And people are like, what? Right. So Korea being the #1 exporter of kim. But what about like kim from other countries, like dried labor or whatever they call it in English, right?
Yes, right. Kim from other countries is actually decreasing in production due to rising sea temperatures. So Korea has 70% of the seaweed market.
Oh, we dominate.
Yeah, we do. Countries like China, which also produce their own seaweed, increased South Korean kim exports last year by more than 86%.
Ooh.
Also, here's an interesting side note. Consumers from Japan told the BBC they preferred the taste of Korean kim. They said the seaweed from Korea is lighter, crispier, and saltier because Korean seaweed typically contains sesame oil and salt, whereas Japanese seaweed typically uses soy sauce.
Right. And we love the sesame oil.
Yes.
We do. 참기름 최고.
It's so refreshing.
Yeah, it's like 고소하고 and like savory and with the salt. I could just have a bowl of white rice and kim right now. I'm so hungry. Okay, so are the increasing preferences for Korean seaweed like, is it all good news?
Unfortunately, no. The bad side to this global surge in demand for seaweed is that prices are going up. I know it seems like the price of everything is going up, but for kim, it's especially jarring for consumers because it's supposed to be simple and cheap, right?
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Like, we're talking about baegwon for one sheet. So then the 10 packs are 1,000won or less, but if you buy in bulk, you get bigger discounts.
Sure.
Not anymore.
Right.
As of January 2026, one sheet of kim became 50% more expensive. So it's a record-breaking 150 won per sheet.
That's a lot, though.
If you're into premium kim, even more. We're talking 350 won per sheet. So while it's really good for people involved in producing and selling kim, consumers are starting to wonder if seaweed is worth this increasing price tag.
And the thing is this, like in my household, there's a particular place, I've talked about them before, I'm not going to give the name. It's a particular like Busan place where I order the kim. They only produce kim. Every year there's a price increase and they keep on decreasing the number of sheets plus raising the price,
which is very sad. It's a double hit.
Exactly. It's like kimflation is real.
Kimflation, It's not even shrinkflation. If you paid the same price for less, it's like, have to do that. But pay more for less.
Fewer sheets, yes.
That's very depressing.
Painful.
Yes.
Right, so I guess we're going to have to keep an eye on what happens with prices. But in the meantime, I want to talk about our next story.
Okay.
So what is it?
This next story is from CNN, and the headline says it all.
What does it say?
It reads, South Korea is finally having more babies, but can it last? Now, before anyone gets too excited, the numbers still aren't good.
Right.
Okay, so to maintain a stable population size, the birth rate needs to be at 2.1. So at its lowest in 2023, Korea's birth rate was 0.72.
We memorized.
Now it has risen to 0.75. So better? Yes. Good? No, right? South Korea is always kind of fighting Hong Kong when it comes to who has the lowest birth rate.
And that's a race that we don't want to win.
Yeah.
Because,
we don't want to win that race.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So does this mean the government programs to increase the birth rate are helping at least?
Yeah. I mean, neither the experts nor the average parents interviewed by these American journalists seem to really think government policies are the main reason.
Right.
Im So-jung, Korean Foundation professor of Korean Studies at the SUNY University at Buffalo, said birth rates never recovered to pre-pandemic levels.
Right.
So essentially, the increased birth rates are just a period of catch-up now. for all those couples who delayed getting married or having children during coronavirus, they are likely having children now. Another reason for the increase, according to Professor Im, is that children born to baby boomers, of which there are many, are now in their 30s, and they are just now reaching the average childbearing years.
Oh, yes, yes. So I guess no one thought that the government programs were responsible. Because, like, I was kind of critical, too, in the beginning. Like, I don't know which administration it was, but, like, you know, they kept on coming up with these like, you know, stipends.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, though? I don't know any young couple out there that are going to have another baby just because there's an extra 200,000 won. Like,
yes,
they're not going to be encouraged only by that. I'm just saying, right?
Right. Yes,
it
because
helps, but
one person they interviewed, Park Hae-in, she said these government support programs, and she listed them like you did.
Okay.
She said they don't really match my current economic situations,
Right.
and added when it comes to things like newborn loans, there are also a lot of restrictions. One woman interviewed who is 30, she said one thing that did improve based on government programs was the fact that now she can take maternity leave and not have as much pressure at work. It doesn't happen in every workplace, but her exact words were, for maternity leave, I think the burden has eased somewhat. So, of course, mothers who had multiple kids, one mother of 3, she said, more kids, more expense, their whole life. But the stipends are 1 or 2 years.
Right.
Because, of course, in 2024, Korea, #1, most expensive place to raise kids.
It is, it is. And, well, we have actually almost run out of time. So, in a nutshell, anything else that you would like to add before I let you go?
Yes, so the last thing is Korea might think of changing some current laws. For example, single women aren't able to have IVF. Changing this kind of law could open the doors for more people to become parents who maybe wouldn't otherwise be able to.
Right, great point that you make. So thank you so much for the great stories. Wishing you, your family, a lovely Lunar New Year, and see you next week.
Thank you. Have a very happy New Year.
All right, everybody, this was Melissa. It's time to wrap up hour #1. Let's go with this one. Let's Go Picnic by George. I'll be back at 8.
난 너의 뒤에 설 때 밀려오는 듯한 냄새가 너무 좋아 활짝 피어있는 꽃들을 지날 때마다 너를 느껴 늘 똑같은 공기 너와 마시면 마냥 좋을 것만 같아 넌 꼭 감은 채로 이대로 여기서 몸을 누이고 싶어 오늘 같은 이런 날이 올 때면 Let's go picnic with a girlfriend 내리쬐는 햇살 가득한 공원 Let's go picnic with a girlfriend 몸을 뒤로 젖혀 멀어져가는 해를 바라보면서 두 팔 가득 벌려
877 혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Brr! It's freezing outside. Let's crank up the heat.
Wait, you don't have to. Lowering the temperature by just 2 degrees can save a lot of energy.
2 degrees? That small change really matters?
You'd be surprised. If 10% of Korean households lower their heating by just 2 degrees, the effects are like planting about 350,000 trees a year.
That's magical. Then I'll just bundle up instead.
Smart move. Try wearing some thermal underwear or warm socks.
Plus, when you go out, don't turn the heater off completely. Set it to away mode or 외출 mode.
That way, it uses less fuel than turning it off and reheating the whole place later. Turn down the heat, but not your warmth.
This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, 부산영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back, everybody. It's now 8 o'clock. This is Spotlight News. Ex-Interior Minister sentenced to 7 years in insurrection trial. Former Interior Minister Lee Sang-min was sentenced to 7 years in prison yesterday for playing a key role in ex-President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law imposition in 2024. The Seoul Central District Court agreed with a previous ruling from ex-Prime Minister Han Duck-soo's case that the martial law imposition constituted an act of insurrection. He was found guilty of giving orders to lock down major agencies and cut off power and water to the media outlets and perjury, but acquitted of abuse of authority charges. Government to offer grace period before ending tax suspension for multiple homeowners. The government will grant a grace period of 4 to 6 months for owners of multiple homes ahead of the planned end of a temporary exemption from heavy capital gains taxes for multiple homeowners on May 9th, the Finance Ministry said yesterday. A 4-month grace period will be given for properties in Seoul's upscale Gangnam and Yongsan districts and up to 6 months for newly designated speculative zones. It will apply to cases in which final payments or ownership registration are finalized within the specified time frame. For homes currently occupied by tenants, the government will temporarily ease owner occupancy requirements under the land transaction permit system. Police task force raids National Assembly over 2024 attack on Lee Jae-myung. Police raided the National Assembly, the intelligence agency, and other offices yesterday as part of an investigation connected to a knife attack on President Lee Jae-myung during a visit to Busan in 2024. The government last month designated the attack as a terrorism case and launched a task force to reinvestigate. The task force, however, went empty-handed from the National Assembly as Parliament Speaker Woo Won-sik was absent from the building, and the Speaker's office requested they report to Woo in person the following day. Snowboarder Choi Ga-won wins gold in women's halfpipe. Choi Ga-won captured the women's halfpipe snowboard title at the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics for South Korea's first gold medal in an alpine event. The 17-year-old Choi scored 90.25 points in the final held at Livigno Snow Park after a heavy fall on her opening run. In short track, Im Jong-un took the bronze in the men's 1,000-meter race, bringing South Korea's fourth medal of the competition. Trump repeals a landmark climate ruling. The U.S. Trump administration has revoked a key scientific ruling that gives the government the ability to regulate climate heating pollution, including greenhouse gas emissions. The Obama-era finding concluded that a range of greenhouse gases were a threat to public health. It has become the legal bedrock of federal efforts to rein in emissions, especially in vehicles. The White House has called the reversal the largest deregulation in U.S. history, while critics describe the move as a gift to billionaire polluters at the expense of Americans' health. This was Spotlight News. It's time for a special interview. A couple of decades ago, robots were mostly kind of a distant idea, rarely seen in daily life. Together, now, they're everywhere, from industrial machines to service robots and entertainment demonstrations. In 2026, the focus has shifted to humanoid robots, machines designed to look and move like humans, capable of performing tasks alongside us. At the Consumer Electronics Show CES 2026, that took place in January, humanoid robot technology showcased by South Korean companies like Hyundai also drew attention. So today we want to learn more about how humanoid robots work and what their presence means for people. With an expert joining us is Dr. Maria Kirarini, Assistant Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering and the David Packard Jr. Faculty Fellow at Santa Clara University. She also leads the Human-Machine Interaction and Innovation Research Group. Let's say hi to her. Hi, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So in your words, can you describe what humanoid robots are and how they're different from other types of robots?
So humanoid robots have a human-looking body. So basically, it has a head, a torso, 2 legs, 2 arms. Before that, we used to have more robots that they are either robotic arms or mobile bases or legged robots. So really, humanoid robots are a bit different because they kind of like have a similar shape to us.
Yes, indeed. And so when we talk about a humanoid robot and its so-called, I guess, brain, what does this actually mean? And how is it developed so that a robot can handle, for example, unexpected situations in real-world environments?
I think the answer will be AI models. So currently, we are able to run artificial intelligence models on robots. We train these models in data that they are very specific, that basically enable a robot to be able to perceive the world, but also take actions according to what it sees.
Yes. And so when we look at some of the biggest challenges in making humanoid robots safe, because now they're not just a novelty, they are working alongside human beings. So how does that go?
So in robotics, we usually do not like uncertainty, and our world has a lot of uncertainties. So which means that actually it creates challenges for both safety and reliability. For example, a robot may have an unpredicted behavior because of, let's say, hardware issues like a sensor error or control errors that could happen. Also, I think now everyone starts getting more and more familiar with the AI terminology. But we do have models that they hallucinate, or they do
Yes.
not work well when there is an uncertain situation. And I do have to mention that we do lack also standardized safety protocols for humanoid robots, which basically makes all these challenges that we need to address.
Yes, yes. And, speaking of those safety protocols, I mean, how do researchers or companies test and make sure that these robots won't harm people? Because there's always that kind of thinking in the back of our heads of lay people thinking, well, what if something goes wrong? What if a humanoid robot attacks or does harm to a person?
So I think the very first step that everyone is using is actually physics-based simulations, because first we start actually testing that everything works in a simulated environment. And then we move actually into having testing and evaluation in real-world settings, but more in a controlled environment. So usually we go with having, for example, user studies that we have humans working together with robots, but in a very controlled lab type setting that we are able to observe what is happening. And then if something does go wrong, there are safety components that actually the personnel could make sure that the person is not harmed. Once this testing is done and we see that, things are going well and we do not get errors, then we start doing more of what we call the studies in the wild, but still with some kind of supervision from the human. So if we take kind of like the example of Waymo, that here at least in the Bay Area, we see Waymos all around, which is autonomous taxis. They did start at first having a driver that would just observe what was happening. And if something was going wrong, then they would take over.
Yes, yes. Well, with international safety standards, I guess, starting to form, as you said, we don't have them in place, at least hard ones. How important is global coordination when it comes to developing safe humanoid robots?
I think that's very important, because the first step is usually when we are talking about robotics, we need to have the safety within the hardware design process. So, and then we can actually talk about the software safety and other components. So I really believe that it has to be a collaboration in a global scale to develop these standards that apply to everyone who is developing robots.
And, when I think about the world, human world versus humanoid robots, it does seem like, are we blurring the boundaries between humans and machines? Or do you think that there still is a clear line between human beings and humanoid robots?
So in my head, at least, I feel like humanoid robots can help us when it has to do with, for example, tasks that they are dangerous for humans, or when it has to do with repetitive actions or repetitive jobs. So, for example, if we saw during COVID, for example, if we had a humanoid robot that could go and kind of like check the patients, would probably be less harmful for the nurses. But on the other side, I do believe that robots cannot replace, or they do not have empathy.
Yes.
Right? And I have the feeling that this is one of the components. We as humans have empathy, and also we can take very complex decisions. And I have the feeling that these are the two characteristics that robots cannot take away from us.
Well, thank goodness they can't take that away from us. Well, in the next decade or so, what is one thing you think humanoid robots could do that could really change everyday life for us human beings?
I decided to actually pick the one that I hope it will happen, which is basically humanoid robots to be able to do household tasks, like, for example, laundry or loading dishwashers or tidying up the room, because I feel that this will actually open up more time for, people to be able to do other things that they like, for example, hiking, dancing, or focus on like more hobbies that they have.
Yes, yes. Well, I agree with you. I certainly hope that those kind of robots will be, in on the ride with us in the near future. Thank you so much for coming on air with us and sharing your expertise with our listeners. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. This was our special interview with Dr. Maria Curarini talking about these humanoid robots. And I'm seeing the chatter also in her chat room about saying, there have been so many sci-fi movies, as Leslie says, with, the humanoid robots always going too far, especially like with the generative AI. And I remember many of films with that theme. We definitely hope it never goes down that path. But anyhow, this was our special interview, and I'll be back with your traffic and weather in just a moment.
Good morning. Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It is time for your updated traffic report. First up, let's talk about the top portion of the Gwangan Bridge. It is congested right now. There's backup on the Dongso overpass from Hwangryong to Bumnikko ramp. And it is busy on Jungangdaero from Seomyeon intersection all the way through or to Yeongju intersection. There's traffic on Chungjangdaero from pier number 5 to pier number 4. Currently, it's 3 degrees Celsius here in Busan, clear skies. It's expected to go all the way up to 13 today. Busan City is under a special dry weather report and bad ultrafine dust ratings in some parts of the city. Bad air quality across the country with emergency fine dust reduction measures in effect for the capital area and Gangwon, Yeongseop. Looking ahead at the weekend, warm both tomorrow and on Sunday. So we're looking at a daytime high going all the way up to 17 on Sunday, and the morning low sitting around 5 degrees for both days. There is no rain forecast for the Lunar New Year holiday here in Busan, but please check the air quality and have masks on hand just in case. This was your traffic and weather. It is time for Wagga Wagga Tea Time. Haley's back.
Hello, hello.
That's right. People are getting mad at you for the traffic.
Hey, don't kill the messenger.
All right. That's true. So for those who will be traveling, I hope I'm not hoping, but I'm thinking some of you are leaving probably maybe have a half day today.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lucky.
Lucky. Jealous. All right. So let's get to our first Waggali story. The police have been under fire recently for some officers, not all, some officers' behavior.
Of course. But
Yes.
one police officer is facing potentially criminal charges for his inappropriate social media post from a call he had responded to.
Oh.
Right. So a prevailing theme here, spoiler alert, is social media. Just cut the cord. On February 6th, this
Yes.
officer from Gwangmyeong Police Station went to a scene involving a dead body. He took a photo. He took multiple photos, as a matter of fact, of the scene, posted these onto his personal social media. Right.
What?
Which were you not taught in, anywhere to not do that? Asking people to, and he made light of it, to guess what this was, and made a very inappropriate comment, which I won't quote, about not eating a certain meat product from now on.
Oh my gosh.
He did delete the post on the same day, but this being the internet, a lot of people had already taken screenshots of it. The National Police Agency, so his big bosses, became aware of it 4 days later. He's been dismissed from his post. He also faces an investigation as well as an audit.
Oh my goodness. So what kind of charges is he potentially facing?
Right. So we're now looking at two separate potential discipline and cases. Number one is professional code of conduct and discipline. That is within the internal police organization.
Yes.
However, did he break any laws? Well, the photos included the body covered in a white sheet and others from within the scene. The one that can actually get him in terms of legal trouble is not the body, but an automatic fingerprint search system with the caption that he wrote, quote, power of forensics. So that's because that photo had the fingerprint of the deceased, and the police are now looking into whether this would qualify as leaking internal police information.
Wow.
So again, a professional code of conduct, that audit is ongoing. He did admit to taking the pictures and said something along the lines of how that was a really cold day, the officers on the scene were working really hard, and he wanted to draw attention to that hard work.
No, he didn't.
Well, I mean, even if he did, is that
is
the deceased body is not the way to go about it.
Right.
The police will discipline him according to the results of the audit. The police also apologized to the family of the deceased, and Acting Police Chief Yoo Jae-sung said yesterday, reiterating that this behavior was not only inappropriate but inexcusable and unacceptable.
Right, because I mean, think about it. I mean, God forbid that be your family member or a friend or whomever, right?
Everyone, treat them with respect.
Of course. But in Gyeongnam, other officers are in trouble for yet another social media post.
Can we just make it a rule to not...
Just don't post
Just
when
don't
you're working.
post.
Yeah.
This is lighter, at least in comparison. But Gyeongnam Police Forces officers took a photo of them drinking beer at the office.
No, they did not.
They did. They did. So this is a photo of the floor. They're sitting around 4 officers with open cans of beer and some snacks. So it was posted at 2 a.m. and they were not on duty.
Oh, thank goodness.
So here's the thing. So they technically didn't do, well, I'm not going to say anything wrong, but they were not on duty. But by posting this on social media, they have blown this out of proportion. So the police, or the organization said that regardless of the hours or whether they were on duty or not, it is appropriate for them to drink at the workplace. The police are currently in the fact-checking process, gathering the facts of the case, and they also said they'll launch an audit.
Not so unwise.
So just, can we all have, and there's like gender sensitivity training, but then can we also have like social media literacy, common sense training for everyone?
For everyone. I guess we all need it. Okay, so moving on. Apparently there was this mad rush to get toilet paper. Toilet paper? Really? On coupon? What's going on?
This could be another case of like fat fingers going to the Bitham case. Some employee mistyped something. All right, so on Wednesday, there was this post on Coupang for 60 packs of toilet paper, but 1 pack had 30 rolls at 28,000 won.
For the whole package?
Right, so do the math. That would be 30 times 60, 1,800 rolls. So each roll would have been about 16 won each, which is insane.
Right.
You're like, where is that deal still on?
I know.
Right. And customers are also like, that can't be. Is it true? Could it be? So they asked the chat function, which is a chat bot.
Right.
And here's the thing about chat bots. They are not people, so they will only verify what they can on the surface level, meaning, yes, mathematically, 30 times 60 is 1,800 is what they verified. So like, anyways, by the way, how insane is 16 won per roll? So I did some research. The same brand that's sold on the site at 16,000 won for a pack of 30. Basically, the going rate is about 500 won per roll. So 16 won per roll, about 30 times cheaper.
Oh my gosh.
So this, of course, went viral over some online communities. And again, people mad dashing to stock up because you're going to need toilet paper.
Eventually, but we're going to store all that toilet paper.
I don't know. Make room.
So I'm assuming
Kick out your roommates.
It was a mistake. It wasn't true.
Of course it was. So Coupang caught the mistake about 4.5 hours later. But again, in internet time, 4.5 hours
That's
is like a
long.
century.
Yeah.
It canceled all the orders.
Oh.
Yeah, notified the customers, and they're saying that they're giving them 5,000 won in coupon cash, so which you can use on the site. It didn't disclose how much the toilet paper was supposed to be, nor how many orders were actually placed during this time.
People, check your typing before you post anything.
Seriously.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So we're going to move on to some Olympics-related stories. We're all rooting for Team Korea here, but this should not mean putting other countries or athletes down, because I always add, let's clap and applaud all the Olympians, everybody there.
Right, because it is, it's an honor of a lifetime
Of
to be an
course.
Olympian, which I think
Yes.
is the coolest title
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Also, we shouldn't be yelling at anyone on social
hope
media,
not.
let alone athletes for their performance, for falling.
Okay.
So we covered this Tuesday short track speed skating mixed relay. American skater Corinne Stoddard, she fell in the middle of the race, and then she crashed into South Korean skater Kim Gil-lee. So Kim did tag Choi Min-jung, the next skater.
Yes.
Almost immediately, it wasn't enough to get us past the finish line within the medal, so the team failed to advance on to the finals. Happens.
Life happens.
Right. Disappointing, but it happens all the time. But some South Korean fans got so mad, they went on to Stoddard's social media, and her post had been bombarded with comments criticizing her.
Oh, that's so
Which
unfortunate.
is what, for falling?
And it wasn't intentional.
No.
She fell. I saw.
She didn't
the race.
trip and...
Yeah, it was unintentional. And she responded, right?
She apologized.
Aw.
Which... I'm, of course, not criticizing her, but I'm
yeah.
just sad that she had to.
Right.
To her teammates and also, quote, other skaters who were affected by the crashes, saying that it wasn't intentional, but she said something was wrong with her that day, and she'll continue to figure it out until Saturday, where she will be racing for the 1,000 meter. She's also taking a break from Instagram because she says she doesn't need some things being in her head from that performance moving forward. By the way, even Kim Gil-lee, she is fine with it.
Yes.
Thankfully, because we thought she had initially hurt her arm, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
And she said, short track, it comes with a lot of variables, and these things happen.
Exactly. But unfortunately, this isn't the first time that such a case like this has happened.
Right. And, I know other countries do it, but I'm going to just focus on Korea. In Pyeongchang 2018, Choi Min-jung was penalized, and her silver medal was canceled in the 500-meter race because there was a call made saying that she impeded Canadian skater Kim Boo-ten. Choi was stripped of the medal, so Boo-ten, who came in fourth, she wound up getting the bronze.
Right.
She was celebrating because she got a medal.
Right.
But then this led to a field day, is going to be my choice of words. And it was more than that on her social media, with Korean fans saying, how dare you? And also, which...
It's a race, and they have these high-speed cameras. The officials, they go through the footage, and they determine if there was,
sometimes it feels like a call was made not right
in your favor or in the
your
team's
favor, right? But then, yes, sports is sports, and people get mad. But there was even blackmail.
Oh.
People were threatening her because it was also in Korea.
Oh, wow.
So the police actually had to launch an investigation. Boo-ten back then decided not to press charges because this was not in the spirit of the Olympics, and she wanted to keep that spirit. She said, class, equally, if not more, supported by the Korean fans. By the way, her career still continues. I keep seeing her in the Olympics, which is amazing.
She is still there.
Her and Ariana Fontana from Italy.
This morning I watched them.
I'm like, didn't I see you? I don't know, many Olympics ago. How are you? That's amazing. But anyways,
everyone in Korea who watches sports, they know Kim Boo-ten.
I'm gonna recognize her if I ever see her on the streets. I'm like, I know you. I've seen you multiple times.
Legends, yes.
And to that end, even this veteran, legendary Olympian said this experience was really traumatic, and she actually had to take some time off the ice.
Okay, so let's not be mean people on social media.
Yeah.
Seriously? Okay.
There's a theme.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to head into obviously the Lunar New Year holiday, and the big question is this. And this is seriously a big question. How much is the going rate for sebeton? How much is it?
Okay, so sebaeton for our non-Korean listeners.
Yes.
It's traditional money that adults give out to kids after they do the traditional bowing on the morning of Seollal. So Kakao Pay analysis over the money given out during this time. And it's been on the rise. So last year, the most common amount that was sent to middle or high school grade students, 10만 won. 100,000 won. Which I'm like, excuse me?
I know, it's like, excuse me?
This is a rapid flip from just a year before, where the majority, albeit by 2%, was 5만 won, 50,000 won. At 39%, 37% had given 100,000 won. But last year, 100,000 won was ahead at 42%, and then 50,000 won fell to 37%.
Oh, darn.
What's really more, the expectations. So the givers, aka adults, were wanting to give like 만 won and call it good, but just officially on surveys, they're saying 50,000 rate should be the appropriate standard, right? Well, the receivers, the kids, they're wanting 100,000 won.
Yeah, because they always want more.
Well, you know what? I want a home. So I want a car.
There are many things I want as well. Can we add that to the list? Just kidding, of course. But thank you for all the news and the Woggly news. We'll check in with you next week. Happy Lunar New Year.
I'm not kidding, but Happy Lunar New Year.
Everybody, this is Haley. We're going to get to our next song. So here it is. This is 안녕 by Joy. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to get into some of your messages. Our text topic today is all about your holiday plans and what traditions your family has or follows. And these days, I feel like, modern families, modern traditions. I think I shared with you multiple times, we are so into the games, like board games. Usually one of my kids, they have like a PPT ready of like games that we play. Yeah, there's a whole list. There's about usually 7 to 10 games we play. We always make teams or we do individual points. And then it's always for like dessert or something very, not expensive or anything like that. It's basically for bragging rights. 자랑할 수 있는 기회가 있잖아요. So that's what we definitely do. Some of you, Benny's saying, I think Valentine's plans for context. Possibly at home, and then he says for Sunday, Tuesday on the holiday, maybe at home as well. He's in the Philippines. And yes, for those of you who are so busy planning for the Lunar New Year holiday, for those inclined, if you have a significant other and if you do celebrate Valentine's Day, you don't have to. It's such a commercial day. It's tomorrow, just to give you a heads up. So if you haven't, bought flowers or candy, you might want to check up on that just in case your significant other might expect it. That is tomorrow. Once again, you've been warned. And for other people, a lot of people saying that they're going to be, for example, we have a message on our Kakao Talk board from Junie Neem. And he says that, good morning. For me personally, I don't have specific plans for the long holiday, just staying at home with my kids or taking them out for some fresh air. And that's pretty much it. So he says that for their family traditions, they tend to enjoy holiday food and just relax. Nothing really special. But I have to say that, when you have young ones, because he says his kids are 4 and 3. Ooh. Oh, that's tough. When they're so young and they're so close in age, it's challenging. Anyhow, thank you for those messages. And let's get to global affairs. It is time for Global Affairs. Guess who's here? Professor Andrew Millard. An 교수님, hello.
Good morning.
And as promised, is that a gold doggy tie?
It's a doggy tie for sure.
Is that for like the Olympics, like gold medalists?
No.
No?
No.
I love the color. It's so vibrant.
It is. It's a little bit different, a little bit more fun.
It is, and it's like a marigold yellow. I love it. It's so pretty.
Yeah, but no, I quite like this one. It was worth the wait.
Yeah,
so you
it
didn't like
was.
my tie last week. So
No. We just wanted
I cried
something
all
new.
week.
All week you
all
cried.
week.
And you're like,
dehydrated
I'm gonna show
now.
her. You're wiping away the tears.
I have no more tears to cry.
Okay. So we love your tie, but I do want to know about your holiday plans. Are you going anywhere? Who are you going to spend it with? And like, do you have any traditions?
So this is going to be a little bit disappointing.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, because my wife is from Busan, and obviously my family, we don't celebrate Lunar New Year,
right?
And they're all in England anyway, so we're not obviously going to England. So we just go to my wife's family, or actually now my father-in-law, he just comes to our house. So we're not really going anywhere. So my mother-in-law passed away quite a few years ago now.
I see.
And so we go to the temple. But I think we'll go early this year.
Early?
Because usually we go either on the day or the day after, and the traffic's always terrible.
I was going to say, aren't there a lot of people there?
So I think this year we're going to go a few days earlier, probably this weekend.
Okay.
Beat the traffic.
Yes.
And then next week, just stay at home.
Relax.
Yes. Take a rest. I'll walk the dog. Not this dog, my real dog.
With your tie.
Walk the tie.
Walk the tie. All your ties. Can you imagine? You have so many of them. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing. And now we're going to jump into what you have brought us. What are we talking about today?
So, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about this sort of the build-up of military forces near Iran by the US and sort of the US-Iran tensions, relations,
Yes.
we should say. So this has been again in the news this week. So I thought we'd have a little bit of an update on this issue.
Okay.
Okay. So just for those who weren't listening a couple of weeks ago, just a very quick sort of update. So basically, this all boils down to the nuclear issue in Iran. So in 2015, there was a deal where the Iranians would stop enriching uranium, get rid of their stockpiles, things like that. And in return, the US and the European Union and other countries basically withdrew their economic sanctions against Iran.
Sure.
So Donald Trump, he's come back in and said, no, I don't like this deal because this was only a temporary deal for 10, 15 years. He wants a more permanent deal.
Right.
So basically he withdrew the US and the Iranians basically started enriching uranium again.
Yes, yes.
So now we're back in this sort of situation where Iran, we can't really compare with North Korea, to be honest, but they are starting to develop enriched uranium basically for nuclear weapons production.
Right,
so the US, they've been very strong and say, nope, you cannot do this, and we are going to stop you with force if necessary.
Yes.
So this is basically what is happening. And a couple of weeks ago, the US sent their aircraft carrier, an armada, as Donald Trump is calling it, to the region. And that's where it was a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. That's right. So there is this continuation of pressure on Iran by the U.S. And so what's happening right now, or do we know, like, are there words from Trump?
So there's been a few sort of updates, a bit of progress. So
yes.
Half of it has been quite good. So there has been a meeting. I'll come back to the meeting in a minute.
Okay.
But Donald Trump this week, he's also been talking about sending a second aircraft carrier to the region. So really enforcing this idea that the US is ready to use force. It's willing to use force. So this second aircraft carrier group, if he does send it, he hasn't made the decision yet, as far as we know. Right now it's in America on the East Coast. So even if he does send it, it'll take at least a month to
It'll
get
take time,
over
yes.
to that region. So it's not like he's sending it today and it'll be there today. But he is threatening. So again, just putting more and more pressure on the Iranian government, saying, look, we're not giving up on this issue. We're here. We want to see major change. What are you going to do about this?
Yes, yes. What about like fighter jets, though?
So, yep, he's also sent his fighter jets. So they were from bases in the UK and Spain. And from the reports that I read, some of these fighter jet squadrons, they were also used in the attacks on Venezuela. So, again, these are not just sort of reconnaissance aircraft or fighter jets, just random ones. These are the specific ones that he said, oh, look, we have used these squadrons in Venezuela. You know what they can do, especially the Iranians know from last year what the Americans can do.
Yes.
So again, just a lot of military buildup, just more and more pressure against the Iranians.
Right. And our listeners and viewers, they need to know, of course, Israel always in the mix when we're talking about, Iran and this area, plus the U.S. in the mix as well. So what about on that front?
So again, just yesterday, yesterday, Wednesday, American time, Wednesday, Prime Minister Netanyahu was in the US. He had a meeting with Donald Trump. Now, this one was a little bit different because usually, as we know, Donald Trump likes the spectacle.
Yes.
He likes the photo op. And usually when the leader comes, they'll go through the front door.
Sure.
They'll have a big meeting in the Oval Office with all the press there, and then maybe lots of Q&A. This time, none of that. He went in the side door. They just had a very private meeting. There was no press conference afterwards.
Sure.
So it was very close, so a little bit different. But here's where we're starting to see a little bit of difference between the US and the Israelis.
Okay.
So Netanyahu, he doesn't just want to stop uranium enrichment, the nuclear weapons program. He's also very insistent that the Iranians basically eliminate or at least reduce a lot their ballistic missile stockpile. And also they stop funding groups like Hamas and other terrorist organizations.
Yes.
Which in a way makes sense. It's not crazy to understand why he's doing that.
Yes.
But the US, they have a slightly different one. Right now, the US is saying, look, we should focus firstly on the nuclear issue. That's why this whole thing started.
Sure.
So the US is saying, look, maybe we can come to the ballistic missiles, the other issues a bit later down the line. But right now we're going to focus on the nuclear issue. Now, Israel, this was reported, I think it was in the Jerusalem Post, one of the Israeli newspapers, that Netanyahu, even if the US doesn't back them, they're prepared to start attacking Iran.
Oh.
So this is becoming quite a complicated, it's already very complicated.
Right.
But it's definitely not easy to solve.
And of course, Israel has been quite busy militarily, for the past few years with what's happening.
Don't forget back in, was it June, July, there was that sort of 12-day, they call it a war. It wasn't really a war, but there was sort of missiles going between Iran and Israel. So that's really when this sort of heightened tensions again.
I see. So definitely it seems, at least on the surface, that there is a, difference in opinion between Trump and Netanyahu right now. So what do we need to know in terms of what's happening in Iran for context?
Okay, so also very important, we look at both sides.
Yes.
And in Iran, so this week's been quite an important week inside Iran because it's been the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution.
Yes.
So before the Islamic Revolution, obviously inside Iran, the government was sort of more pro-US, more Western. Then the Islamic clerics, they sort of took over in the coup, in the revolution.
Yes.
Okay, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not a Middle East expert, so I'll keep it nice and simple for that point there.
Okay.
But this week has been the anniversary. So the president, Masoud Pezeshkian, I hope I pronounced that correctly, he gave a speech inside Iran, and obviously there's been a lot of protests lately, so he knows there is a lot of domestic unrest, and a lot of this comes down to the economic situation. So again, since last summer, when this sort of conflict with Israel began and the Americans got involved, the Iranian rial has basically dropped in value by half.
Yes.
So the economic conditions in Iran are very severe.
Right.
Living costs have gone up. So a lot of people, they're really struggling. And this was one of the main reasons, not the only, but one of the main reasons why there's been these protests and demonstrations recently. So President Pezeshkian, this week, he said, look, we're not going to change our sort of system entirely, but we do recognize that the economic situation is very bad. So we are going to basically do whatever we can to make changes. So this is very positive for the US because this would basically signal to the US that the Iranian government understands they have not only US pressure but also domestic pressure to make these changes. So they're likely to go into any sort of negotiations quite positively.
But aren't the leaders of Iran also blaming the U.S. and other forces, basically the U.S., for kind of flaming the fires?
Yes. So again, in his speech, he didn't mention the U.S. directly, but he did say that sort of the enemies of Iran were encouraging the people to protest as well. So, yes.
Right. So does Iran think that a deal can be made on nuclear weapons?
So they're very positive. They have said that any deal must be sort of done through diplomatic channels and that the US and others must stop threatening Iran. But again, we've seen Israel, they're threatening the US potentially with a second U.S. aircraft carrier group.
Right.
That's quite a big threat
It
against
is.
Iran. But last weekend, there were some negotiations in Oman.
That's right.
And these, from both sides, from the U.S. side and from the Iranian side, both groups came out and said, the talks were very positive. Nothing has been concluded or anything like that.
Right.
But they both said this is a very good start and that we're going to continue on with these talks.
So it looks like they're kind of on the same foot, at least headed in the same direction, at least it seems, but nothing specific has come out, right?
So nothing, so they had these talks in Oman, where it was for me a little bit weak was that the US and Iranian delegations did not meet directly. Now, we've seen this happen quite a lot, especially in the Middle East. These different countries, they don't like to meet directly and speak. They'll go through a mediator, so a third person, in this case Oman. So basically, the Omanian representative meets with the Iranian group and then separately with the US group. And they're sort of, the Omanians sort of going back and forth, a bit like a tennis game between the two. So this has the advantage that there's going to be no sort of sudden worsening of tensions if they start fighting. But on the downside, there's always the potential for miscommunication.
True.
So if I talk to you and say, oh, I want this, and then you go to the other person and you slightly change it.
Tweak it
and
a
you
little.
You frame it in a slightly more positive way, then to be honest, we've seen in the past, so back in the 1940s between Israel and Egypt, that was a very similar situation. In the end, nothing really happened.
Yes.
Then. So for me, I think what we'd like to see is if the US and Iran, like I said, both were very positive.
Yes.
If we have continued talks, I think they should meet directly to really make some proper progress.
Right, because we definitely want to cut down on the chance for miscommunication, for there to be exaggerations or any information that is distilled in a certain way, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, what about for the outlook before I let you go? Do you think that there will be major changes in the near time future?
So I don't think there's going to be any immediate changes. So like I said, on the whole, I think it looks quite positive. But the US, they are going to maintain that pressure because we have such a close Israel-US relationship.
I
and
see.
Netanyahu is really pushing Donald Trump. I think they'll maintain that pressure. But I think in the next few weeks, we could see some progress being made.
All right. Well, I know you'll keep tabs on this story for us. So wishing you and your family the very best for a happy Lunar New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
All right. Everybody, this was Professor Andrew Millard as we wrap up on this Friday morning for this entire week as we head into the long weekend. Wishing you, your loved ones, your family, whomever, a very happy Lunar New Year. We're going to end it with this one. This is Honeymoon Avenue by Ariana Grande. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
I looked in my rearview mirror and it seemed to make a lot more sense than what I see ahead of us, yeah. I'm ready to make that turn before we both crash and burn, 'cause that could be